And that's it for the Focus Project. So make sure you pregame every morning. You'll sign. Hey, it's #1 best-selling author and motivational speaker Erik Qualman. Most of you know me as Equalman. We're super excited about today's 7 super tips because they're coming from the first female CEO of General Motors. That's right, from Mary Barra. Now, Mary went to GMI, which is General Motors Institute of Technology. She has an engineering background. A little known fact that most of you don't know, my grandfather went to GMI, and so did my older brother. And guess what? They had the same exact room with the same exact desk, 50 years apart. So big shout out to Jay Qualman. Shout out to all the viewers out there. And most importantly, here are Mary Barra's 7 super tips.
The best experience, have the best results when you engage the hearts and minds of your people. So, I mean, that's the way I look at it. Is there, clearly, if I can be a role model for young women to want to pursue a career in STEM, which I think is so vitally important, or for them to say, I'm going to aspire to do this because I've seen her and she did it, so why can't I? And if I can provide that role model, that makes me extremely happy. I had, in my first year in the job, I had somebody come up to me and said, because of you, my daughter has chosen to study engineering. And it was like one of the best comments you could get. And so, for sure, that is very meaningful. At General Motors, because, you can't say diversity is so vitally important for the success of our company. And it's not something that you can say, well, I did it and it's done. It's something you continually work on. I champion a group of the most senior women, so the top 35 women in the company. But it's really, for me, it's getting them to say, okay, don't come to me and tell me everything that's wrong. You're a senior person in this company. Go tell me how you're going to solve those problems and what you're going to do to make it better. And, we now meet 3 to 4 times a year and work on what are some of the issues with women in diversity. Because what I found earlier in my career as I worked on diversity is generally, a lot of times when you solve issues for women, you solve issues for everyone. Because a lot of time men have the same issues, or if it's a minority issue or whatever it is, a lot of it can get solved with solving the issue that's termed the woman's issue. And so I'm dedicated to that, but I also believe it's you want to win the hearts and minds of your entire team.
No matter what you choose to do in life, pursue it with passion and hard work. In my experience in school and career, at work and at play, there are lots of talented people out there, but talent alone isn't enough. You need something more. One thing that distinguishes those who really make a difference in life, those who really contribute, is passion and hard work. Remember, hard work beats talent if talent doesn't work hard. So don't be content to work around the edges of your profession. Don't wait to be invited to important meetings or asked to work on crucial assignments. Instead, do what it takes to ensure that you're in the middle of your business. Speak up, volunteer, show your enthusiasm, knock on doors. As an employee, your enthusiasm will make your job more interesting and get you noticed. As a manager, your passion will inspire others to join your team and work as hard as you to accomplish great things.
If you don't if you don't get the facts out on the table, that void will be filled with misinformation. And so we felt it was very important. That's why, transparency was one of the guiding principles we used to make sure we were being updated. At the same time, you can't answer questions you don't know the answer to. And so there were times where I had to say, I don't know. And, I was criticized for that when I went to Congress and, even made fun of on Saturday Night Live. But that's a fun thing to wake up to. But had my brother calling me, Mary. I'm like, oh my gosh. But you don't really, you have to tell the story and you have to answer the questions when you know the answer. One of the things, and I encourage all of you, because you're so tempted because you think you know what happened. Until you know what happened, you can't answer. Had I done that, I would have answered wrong, and I would have probably caused a lot more harm to the company. So, you want to get to the facts as quickly as you can, but if you don't have facts, you can't, it's this race you're in, because you've got to move as fast as you can, but you have to do it with facts. And for me, the way I worked on that was to have a cross-functional team that had, kind of had, oh, here's the engineering view and the finance view and the legal view and the communications view and the customer sales view. Let's all get in a room and let's figure out, what are we all hearing? What do we need to do? What are the facts? Are you sure? Okay, now we're going to move. One of the breakthrough moments I've had from a leadership perspective in my career was about a decade ago when I was supervising and running an assembly plant. And the plant, we had to make quite a few dramatic changes in a short period of time. And it's when I realized it was not just about how hard I worked, but it was also about unifying the team, making sure we were working in a common direction, and then really communicating it to the 2,000 people that were a part of the General Motors assembly team at that site. And it was a breakthrough moment for me because I think in the past, in some of the different engineering roles I'd had, it was easier to get a small group of people, make sure we're aligned, and then work really hard and solve a technical problem. But when you're talking about an entire assembly plant, which is really like a small community, getting everybody engaged, everyone aligned to make sure we're building high quality cars, it took that extra communications and alignment and really motivating. So it was a part of leadership where, hey, I've got to motivate everybody to want to pull in the same direction, not just naturally assume it's going to happen like it might in a small team. I find saying I screwed up to be hugely empowering because I'm a type A personality and I generally have a point of view. But I always tell my team I will have a point of view and I might jump out too fast. But I always encourage them. But if you come with facts or data or a different opinion, I'm going to listen. And I think it really reinforces it when you can say to your team, I was thinking about that wrong, or you know what, I got that wrong. Because no one does everything right. And so I think when you create that environment, I think it's the foundation of a learning environment as well. I think it's so important. And every now and then you have to remind yourself about that. It's like, and at least I should say I do. Every now and then I have some great people around me who every now and then will say, Mary. And I value them because, sometimes you get so wrapped up in what you're doing or what you're trying to get the company to do that you lose sight. So I also say, have people around you who are willing to pull you aside every now and then. It's so important.
Everything we know about the class of 2014 tells us you are one of the most talented and accomplished classes in this school's history. I have no doubt that many of you will go on to do great things. But remember, no one does great things alone. Success is always a team effort. And as tomorrow's team leaders, you must earn the respect and trust of the people you lead. That means being open, seeking solutions, often listening more than talking, because people don't care what you know until they know that you care. To quote Bo Schembechler, if you do not like people, you will not take the time to get to know them. If you don't know them, you will have no idea what scares them, what motivates them, and what inspires them. Remember too, you can't build a relationship only when you need it. Like so many important things in life, strong relationships are built gradually and steadily over time, and there's no better time to start than now.
We were already working on transforming the culture, simplifying the company, eliminating bureaucracy, making sure people were empowered to do their best. So I had been on that journey. So a lot of it was continuing and accelerating the work that we were doing to I'll say push the reset button after the bankruptcy with the company. And a lot of it really gets to behaviors. So if you subscribe that most people come to work every day and they want to do a good job, what's getting in their way? Do we have an environment and a collaborative environment and the tools that are necessary so you can do your best work? Or do we, is it painful to get the most simple tasks done? And so a lot of it was just continuing to make sure that, processes and systems were efficient and we're giving people the right tools and we're giving them the right training and then empowering them. And that's the journey we've been on, I would say, since even before I had the role. and continue to do that today. We spend a lot of time working on what are the right behaviors, what are the company's values, and how do we really infuse that, because then it gets to that capturing the hearts and minds of everybody that are going to deliver superior results.
That's it for today's 7 Super Tips. We want to thank the first female CEO of General Motors, Mary Barra, for giving us those amazing 7 Super Tips. To ensure you get the next 7 Super Tips, make sure you hit that subscribe button below. Or if your thing's working out or driving and you want to listen to this experience, then check out our Super You podcast on iTunes and Spotify. Until then, remember, it's not what we take from this world, it is what we leave behind. All right, let's try that again. From the top. 4, 3, I'll do it in Spanish. 4, 3, vámonos!